Okay, well, today is a gorgeous January 5th, 2016. My God, we're already into 16. I can't believe it. Anyways, about 22 years ago, when I first started practicing lucid dreaming and astral projection, I used to come across a lot of literature that warned against thinking about the physical body during an experience for the reason that you would unwillingly be drawn back to it. And as anybody can imagine, this did become a problem, but only until I began to notice that I wouldn't necessarily be drawn back to the physical body. Rather, upon assuming the experience would be over, I would just wake up into a non-lucid dream. And then once I realized that this so-called warning was nothing more than a self-fulfilling assumption, I was able to dismiss it and explore the higher frequencies for longer periods of time. And then whenever I did challenge myself by thinking about the physical body to prove that I had as much control over my action as I did my thought, I couldn't for the life of me pinpoint the exact whereabouts of my physical body. And when I put some effort into it, I had to manually trace back to where I knew it was. Like, for example, I had to think of the state that I was in, and then I had to think of where my city was within the state, and then where my house was within the city, and then finally where my room was within the house. And then I was able to recall. So keeping this in mind, take into consideration that in many NDE accounts, the near-death experience accounts, people will also experience the same phenomenon. They'll go through whatever physical trauma, leave the body, go home, as they call it, where they meet loved ones, and quite often completely forget about the physical world until something or someone reminds them that, holy shit, I've got a wife and kids, I have a job. And then, they start making their trip back to the physical body. But my point is that these experiences tell us that no matter how lucid you are, when you leave the physical body, it's not completely unusual to totally and completely forget about this place. So, this is kind of where the whole ghost thing comes in. Imagine the permanent passing of those individuals who go about living their lives in a constant state of denial, trapped in a loop of lies, or bound by religious belief. Or how about people who commit suicide? Do they even remember committing suicide? And if they do, would they accept it, or would they rather go about happily participating in a lie because it's more comfortable to do so? And when you think about it, how different really is that from people living in the physical world? But my question is, what do these individuals see when they die? What would keep them from entering into a realm whose entire existence is propelled by their own imagination? So by this, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that when Christians die, they see Jesus, and when Buddhists die, they see Buddha, and so on and so forth. As a matter of fact, in PMH Atwater's big book of near-death experiences, she touches on this subject quite extensively, and it's interesting to find out that there is actually quite a lot of evidence to support that claim. And I'm not saying that every religious figurehead is pure fiction, because I don't know. As far as I know, this Jeshua ben David guy, aka Jesus, could have been a real person. I don't know. But the question is, at what point do our ideals, our belief systems, and assumptions begin to infringe upon reality in a world of pure malleable frequency? It seems to me that everything would be real and anything would be possible. To some people that would sound like heaven, but to me it sounds like a perfect hell. Or maybe this is what Maybe this is what purgatory is. Who knows? But it does give us some insight into why this place is so precious. As far as I'm concerned, the physical world is a manifestation of the truth. Here, everything is not real and anything is not possible. And people who argue to the contrary, they have to also accept the possibility of the impossible. But when we accept that, certainly we will be less likely taken advantage of by those individuals and institutions that only stand to gain by our need to believe in something. But most importantly, I think when this life is over and we pass into the next, maybe that experience will not be molested by some belief system. Rather, we can witness something just that much closer to the truth. So anyways, just something to think about. Feel free to post your comments. I'm interested to see what other people think about that. And if you have had lucid experiences on the other side where you cannot recall the physical body, I'd like to know about it, because I don't think I'm the only one. So anyways, thanks for watching.